All right, so we'll start off here with Linda's image. You're at ISO 100. You're at 56 millimeters, f1.4 at 1/8 of a second. So those settings all look good. If you're photographing a 5-year-old, 1/8 of a second wouldn't work for your shutter speed because there'd be too much movement. But this image of yourself, you knew to obviously be very still in, and you're as sharp as ever in this. This is a really nice tack sharp image. In fact, I'm a little confused in looking at the focal length because it says 56 millimeters. But if I look down here at your lens, it looks like maybe it's a 56 millimeter lens. It doesn't look like it's a zoom lens. And if it is a fixed lens, then that lends itself to being a sharper image anyway. The light that you're using in this image is really beautiful. So you have the window light coming in from the side, and you said also from behind the camera, so behind us. And we can see that it's kind of on the side here. We can see that light in your eyes. It's coming across your body, but it doesn't have this huge fall off. We still have a really illuminated left side of the image. So the light here is really beautiful. The idea that you're showing yourself as Cleopatra, that's someone who you really look up to, I think is beautifully done. I think that's very clear who you're presenting yourself as. You worked with a friend with this, getting your makeup done, and I'm sure she helped you get that focus right on as well. So everything's looking good. We can see your little remote in your hand. So that's like one of these subtle things in self-portraiture. Having the remote in the frame can be really fun to kind of be a giveaway for people that this is a self-portrait, and that's what we're seeing there. But really beautiful, nice, sharp image, beautiful light, your expression kind of just staring at the camera as though you're being like captured in between expressions, I think works really well with your hand up like it is, like you're in the middle of presenting yourself. And then I don't know what the background is, but it seems very believable since you have it really out of focus shooting it at f1.4. This image is by Angelina. You're at ISO 800, 51 millimeters, so pretty much a normal lens, f5.6 at 1/40th of a second. So that balance looks fine, but the image is underexposed. We want to see this background show as wider. So about 2/3 of a stop, I'm going to guess, more exposure is better here. Now you guys hear me say over and over again that you should not be using flash, on-camera flash. But this is an example of when on-camera flash is telling the story. So if you're in a lineup, I'm guessing, you would have an on-camera flash, right? Because they're just trying to get the likeness of the person. So here, an on-camera flash works perfectly to give that same feeling of what we would have if we were in getting our mug shot taken. So we have you are all done up, you have your hair done, but it's messy now, and your eye makeup was done, but it's smeared now, and your lipstick is smeared everywhere. We have your fancy dress, but it's hanging off your shoulder. So you have this very fun view of like the prom night gone sideways. So I think this is a really playful image, and it has more of the alter ego side of it. Like this is a different side of your personality that you're showing, or you're putting on a different caricature for us to explore. So this is very different than some of the more revealing images that we have, but works great for this assignment. So just slightly underexposed. Otherwise, I think this is fun, nice close-up view, eliminated any distractions, and has this playful tone to it. This image is by Allison. You're at ISO 800, 18 millimeters, so really wide angle, f11 at 1/2000th of a second. So all those settings look fine. As I'm looking at this, you can see that it's really pixelated, and I think we had this issue last week with your images as well. So if we zoom in, you can see like each individual pixel. You see that especially on your pants there, where we're not seeing a smooth gradient, we're seeing like each square. And if we compare that to what we have here, you're not seeing any pixels here. So it's a big difference in what we're seeing, and that's why I'm asking you to resubmit this as your original image so we can see where the problem's coming in, because all of your images need to have a nice soft quality to them, not this pixelation. Because right now I want to get in there and I want to see if the focus is 100% sharp on your face, and I can't tell if your face is sharp or if your hands are sharp. I don't know where the point of focus is because everything's so pixelated that it kind of washes over everything and nothing looks sharp in the image. So your exposure overall looks fine. The colors that you're using are a little bit more muted in the background, so we really are able to focus on you. The blues and the purples and the blues are all coming together to create visual cohesion. The light that you're using is really harsh outdoor lighting in the middle of the day. Let's see, you shot this at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, so really hard light. And that works fine, and I think tells kind of this story of being outside, dressing up as a cowgirl and being on the ATV. Like that whole narrative comes through when we have the bright sunny day. But it's creating a shadow on your face that's really distracting. It takes us away from getting in there and being able to see your face and the details of your face. It makes your hands and this triangle that we have here of your face more important. So you had talked about bringing in a reflector and how that was, I think you said just to the right of the camera. So if that's to our right, then I'm not sure that you're able to reflect any light onto your face. If you wanted to use a reflector, you need the reflector to capture the light as it's coming in and then bouncing that back up onto you. So the reflector would need to be on this side. So the light comes down and then bounces back up. You need to be like across from the sun and in order to be able to bounce that light back up onto your face. So I think you're missing the use of the reflector here, and that's creating a lot of darkness on your face. Bringing out your reflector here, I think, was a really smart idea. It could be very useful in this image, and it could let us in and let us see the detail of your face. But it's not being shown in this image at all to me that there is a reflector, so I think you're just not bouncing the light right back to you like you would want to. So that's something to just go and play around with. Like you can go outside anytime and play around with your reflector and learn how it's bouncing light, how it bounces light differently on a shadow or a cloudy day than on a sunny day, and how you can like throw light down a tunnel by using the reflector, but you need to be outside and you need to learn how to bounce that light. So you can really utilize that reflector, and I'm thrilled to know that you were using it, but it's not being effectively used here. The idea, though, you being out there, giving us the feeling of being in the country, being on the ATV, having your like cowgirl outfit on, I think is a nice narrative that you're showing us.